Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Entropia content. Hey Suki, how's it going? Now it's not an early episode of Clone Evolution. Today I was just running really late on doing my Entropia recording, so I did it a bit later today. So it's almost going to be like back-to-back episodes, really. I'll get an hour break in between to eat dinner. But when you're doing things you like, it's pretty easy to do. Now, I think maybe since it's a little bit later in the evening, I'll take a run and try to pick up some of the items. Hey, 2 viewers already. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope everyone is doing well. Today was almost a very ambitious day. I hope to get a whole bunch of stuff done, but didn't go well. Stayed up late last night watching all the sports. Yeah, I can show you some of the different clothing. I have an episode in my archive for the game where I went into a clothing store and looked at some of the women in the game that create their own clothing and sell it. They have a whole bunch of good varieties. So this is some of the clothing I have. Different men's clothing, women's clothing, different rings, sunglasses. You can get winter coats, dresses. What I'm known for most popular on the internet is the mankini clothes. This is a bikini that men can wear, and that's what they made a video about, and I happen to be the star of the video. Hey Euros. No, I'm just kidding. There's lots of other people in the mankini video. Now you can get women's mankinis. This ninja jacket that I'm wearing right here, I'll show you it. If it has a C in the color thing, or in the name of the item, that means you can color it. So I colored my jacket green, and I can pick 3 different colors to add to it, and then there's color tools that you can use. But certain clothes are rare, and it'll say how many copies there are of each. So some of them can go way up in price. Like the jacket I'm wearing right now, this ninja jacket, is worth 400 game dollars, which works out to be $40 US. So $40 US doesn't sound like a lot, but it's pretty good for a piece of clothing in a virtual game. Hell, that's worth more than the shirt I'm wearing right now. In real life. So I've got other gloves that I got as gifts from the game. Sometimes the game will give out gifts. They usually give out clothes sometimes. Then you have armor that you can get, guns. Right now I only have 1 piece of armor. And it's a hat that increases your stats. It makes my reload speed 3% faster. So I can finish quick. See, in this game I have items boosting my special abilities. Now the coolest part maybe about this game too is the history of Never Die. I just happened to be on his planet, so I'll show it to you. There's a guy named Never Die, and he owns all the records in the Guinness Book for some of the items that were sold in the game that were worth the most money. Now he owns a whole planet, and he owns this giant nightclub. So he helped build this nightclub, and you can go in it and party and stuff. Not too many people hang out in it. I'm surprised. Well, there's a few people hanging out here. See, look at this guy. He's got a neat backpack, eh? But yeah, and each planet in the game has its own theme. This planet's theme is rock and roll. Or, yeah, I guess it would be rock and roll. And then other themes include horror. Another theme is sci-fi. The sci-fi planet's pretty popular too. These are the crafting machines. Yeah, this is one of the auction people. Oh, here's another player from Calypso. Thanks for joining the show. Sorry, I don't think I can say that name, but YTB. I can pull that one off. Or did I get that wrong too? Fuck! Now, if you want to check the most expensive items for sale in the auction right now, you can place your own items for sale in this auction too if you want. Right now, it's one of these lands. And this land costs $24,000 in the game. So that'd be 2,400 in US dollars. So sometimes you can buy a whole land, and then if anyone's mining or on your land, you get to set the tax of how much they pay for mining there. And it just deducts it automatically from anything they find. Sometimes you can get vehicles that cost a lot. Oh no, they'd be for sale there too. Motherships can go for a pretty penny. Then there's different apartments, different deeds, lots of stuff that you can buy in the game. Pretty much anything you can do in real life, you can do in this game. Except for sex. I don't know why they don't have that. It's probably because before they were marketing it to kids, but I don't think it's for kids anymore, so they should add sex. I'm just going to go collect a mission in case I happen to see anyone good to shoot. And if anyone's playing Entropia and they've never tried this mission before, come try this one. It's outside camp or Club Never Die. It's called the Presidential Recruiter. Talk to her. You can do her mission every day, once every 24 hours if you complete it. If it takes longer to complete it, it'll take longer. Oh, sweet. 4K in sweat. That's a good amount. Alright, so I just got the AI mission. Now if I shoot any AI, I can complete the mission, get a really good reward. Cash reward. Presidential pay stub reward. Yeah, Boreas is a really hard place to collect sweat. If you can get 4K at Boreas, you're doing amazing. Because there's a place not far from Boreas, and you can get double the amount in the same amount of time. So you might want to check into going there. Maybe even faster than double, depending how good you are. Now the place that you want to find that's really good for sweating is a location called, what is it now? Club Royal. If you can find Club Royal, you're all set. Boreas is good if you want to do swunting though. Swunting, Boreas is top notch. That's where you hunt and swunt or collect sweat at the same time. Here, I'll show you my sweat collection right now. Right now I have, what is it? This is 300,000 bottles of sweat. We'll check how much I got in storage. I also have another 500,000 in storage. And then another, 5K there. So I've got a pretty good stack going. Keep my sweat empire around 1M sweat. Alright, next we'll do a little bit of a run around here. See if we can get any of the AI, get this mission completed. Alright, I think I can go back to the regular ammo too. I was burning different ammo, but now they gave me the cheap ass ammo, so I'll use it. I try to be as cheap ass as possible in this game because everything costs real money. Holy shit, we're up to 2 likes. Thanks everyone. It's really good for the Entropia show. It's not really as popular as Clone Evolution, but working on it. Now I was thinking maybe for my vlogging series, when I get to interviewing people outside, and when they ask what's on my YouTube channel, I'll tell them that I have Entropia videos. And they'll ask, well, what the hell's Entropia? Albeit it's like it's the only real cash money video game in the world for MMOs. Well, it might not be the only one now. I've heard there's a few other smaller ones starting, but it's the only major one or oldest one. Holy, we're up to 4 likes. One from Romania, too. Thanks, man. Fuck, man. I love Romania. I'd love to travel there one day. You know, it's the weirdest thing. I almost reached the point in my life where I never had any desire to travel. And then I was starting to get that itch where I'm like, hey, let's start traveling. Went and got my passport. Then the fucking pandemic started. It's like, God, what timing. But maybe it'll be more just anticipation. Now that I want to travel, I'll have to wait a bit. And then when I actually am allowed to, it'll be that much better. Because I had to wait. God, fuck waiting. Just kidding. Now, I didn't really know too much about Romania until I started watching tennis, and I found out about Bianca Andreescu. She's from Romania, I've heard. Or her family is. No, and then my family was going on trips too. They mentioned it was good. Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm gonna want to travel. Now, there's so many places that I have to travel in Canada. Maybe it's good that the lockdown came and forced me to do Canada first. I have done a couple travel vlog videos in Canada. I think only 2 so far. One I did on a train trip going from my city to Toronto to show how far it is. And the other one I did I don't know, I think I did 3 or 4 travel videos. One I went to a canyon, sort of like the Grand Canyon, but in my province. One I took a plane, small private plane, flew it up north. Well, I didn't fly it, but I was in it. I got to wear the headgear because it's a small plane and get to listen to the tower. I should have recorded that for the travel video. That would have been really sick. Next time I know what to do too, because like he showed me what kind of headphone jack it is. So next time I can be like, hey man, can you plug this in? Plug in my fucking audio recorder. So I can be recording the audio from the tower too while we're flying and doing the travel video. That'd be wild, huh? Alright, thanks a million, man. Now, I always love it when viewers say that they'll help me out with places to stay when I travel. Because really, I'm on a pretty tight budget. So even affording the, the plane tickets is going to be like a miracle. Let alone hotel bills. Hotel bills get pretty expensive too. I don't know if anyone's ever traveled to Toronto, but fuck man, it's like $200 a night for most hotels. That's pretty fucking expensive. I know when I first started to travel to Toronto, I went in some really like small, sketchy places. But man, they were scuzzy. I could get it for like 40 bucks. I think I even found a place for 20 bucks a night once. But it was like with a window into an alley. And the alley was like a fucking Chinese food restaurant that fucking had poured all its grease out the back into the alley and it was just fermenting. So it was like either choose the heat wave or open up your fucking window into the alley. Oh man, 20 bucks a night though. Suki needs life advice. Uh-oh. Better not be asking me. It's like I'm almost 50 in my mom's basement. So I don't know how much advice you should be taking from But hey, if you want to know what not to do, you could probably listen to my advice. Nah, I shouldn't criticize my life so much. Every day I wake up and I think, man, I get to do whatever the hell I want for most of the day. So I shouldn't be that upset. A lot of people get to do what they want never, so I'm doing pretty good. Ah, thanks. I appreciate that, Suki. Yeah, who knows? Hopefully I can hang on for a few more years before I go senile. Let's hope. Yeah, you're lucky if you can speak more than one language. I tried just even a few words in other languages and they're pretty hard. I took French lessons for years. I only came out with like maybe 10 words. Ça va bien. Yeah, I don't know. I seen some people that I knew, and they moved to places far away like Australia. I don't know if any of them moved to New Zealand. From what I heard, New Zealand is very small compared to most places, just that they're not as densely populated. Right? So if you like a densely populated place to live, then New Zealand probably is not a good place. But when it comes to where you want to live, isn't it usually phases in your life? I don't know. For me, I found I always wanted to live in giant cities when I was a kid. But then the older I got, I was like, hey, maybe I should move out to the country someday. I don't think moving to the country will ever happen because I'm pretty addicted to city life. It's nice being around all the amenities, all the hot babes. But if you already had like a husband or a wife or you're already settled down, then it's kind of better to move to smaller towns or the country. But if you're single and you're looking to meet people, then it's probably bigger to live in giant cities, right? Although some people say you live in a giant city, it gets even harder to meet people. I don't know. A friend of mine couldn't meet anyone in a huge city. Then he moved to a small town, and then he hooked up with a really hot girl right away. So I was like, he met a hot girl in the small town easier than he did in the big city. So I don't know. It's hard to say, right? There's always going to be two ways of looking at it. Or more than one way. I know, I think for guys, it's more important to live where you're from, just because we're all about establishing roots and connections, building a strong foundation. But for women, it's easier to move from place to place to place, because you can build new foundations way faster. The whole nesting instincts. Alright, so where should I be going? Let's try noobs. Noobs. I like the sounds of that. Yeah, COVID's getting really bad, they say in my country. Apparently the hospitals are overflowing. I'm a little bit skeptical of it because our hospitals were always overflowing, even before COVID. And for a long time during COVID, they went to like nobody. So I figured they were going to be overflowing soon. Is everyone overflowing with COVID? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, right? They don't really give exact numbers. Maybe they do. Now, I always think about moving to the country and stuff, and I'm like, man, as a guy, it's like, I've got so many connections here, like people I know with vehicles, and it's harder to build connections up in a new place. Well, I'm kind of surprised, like I only made a few trips up north, and I already started building huge connections. So I don't know, maybe it's not that bad to move to a new place. Depending how well you make connections, I guess. I don't know, a lot of times I get the Forrest Gump look, where I just go around doing weird stuff, spur of the moment, and dumb luck happens a lot, which I almost shouldn't depend on so much. But it's weird how many times it works, so I usually just go with it. It's hard not to fight it, like, why fight something if it's in your nature and it works? Man, I remember the last dumb luck story I had. It was all happened on an island, and I didn't bring a map on how to get to my property that I had on an island, and I'd only been to it once before, and I could barely remember how to get there. And had no plans on where to stay when we got there, and arrived just before it got dark. And it turns out the dumb luck happened to be we met the neighbors when we showed up at the property and we were trying to find it, and they offered for us to stay there. So the dumb luck ended up leading us to one of the best places to stay. So I was like, oh, thank God. Not that it just turned out we had nowhere to stay. That's where it was going pretty quick. Now my property was just like a rough piece of land with bushes growing on it. So there was nothing really that we could use to stay there other than tents. Yeah, Croatia I've heard a lot of good things about. My friend actually that I was just talking about, his family is from Croatia, and they're thinking about moving back. Because a lot of people came to Canada because it was like thriving at one point. But now that it's like completely fallen apart with liberal debt, it's a lot of people like, screw this. People that are here now can clean up the mess. But I don't know, maybe it's going to be a good challenge. I figured the liberals are building that new train network plan. Fuck, I love that idea. So they just got a high five for me for one of their plans. Even if they go badly in debt, spending millions of dollars, at least I'll be using it. Now, the only thing I don't like about Croatia is I heard that, like, I like to explore remote forests and stuff, and I heard that they still have landmines. So you can't really go exploring in remote spots because you have to stay on established trails or risk stepping on a landmine. I don't know how true that is. Now, like when I go on trips up north in Canada, I always go exploring in places. Really wild trails, climbing mountains that are rarely explored. I like doing shit that's not in any travel books. That's one thing I'm lucky about Canada. Fuck, there's so much here that there's almost nothing that people have travel vlogged. I think it's because it's like a nightmare. Most cases, it's always fucking mosquitoes or cold. It's like, why wouldn't you just go somewhere nice like Croatia where it's fucking sunny and beaches? Who the hell wants to go to northern Canada? Yeah, I'm trying to think, how old am I now? Oh yeah, I'm 41 now. I was thinking, am I 40 still? I'm like, no, my birthday was in December on the 2nd. So I'm 41 now. Now I want to get some traveling done before I turn 50. That's my goal. Before I turned 40, I had the life of like starting a family. But since I failed at that, I was like, hey, now before I turn 50, I should make my new goal traveling. So that'd be kind of fun. Now, I made a pretty good attempt at building enough resources to start a family, but kind of fell apart, so once you're over the age of 40, you shouldn't really be focusing too much on starting a family from scratch. Alright, let's get this going. Let's go to the Motorhead Stadium. Alright, nice to meet you. Lawrence's. Sorry, I say every name wrong. The worst, one time I got really nervous and someone was asking me how to spell my middle name and I couldn't remember. I was like, oh fuck, I can't remember how to spell my own name. It was funny too, because at one point they're, oh, can you just spell your name? I'm like, I should be able to, you'd think. No, for that time it was, I got really nervous because I was working on my invention at the time. My invention was borderline highly illegal. So I was kind of worried that the factory I was working with was going to get into trouble if the cops asked anything about what they were making for me. So when they started asking me questions, I got all nervous, almost to the point where it was like a panic attack. Where I was like, oh fuck, the gig's up, we're done. Sort of like someone like smuggling drugs at the border, how they start freaking out when they fucking start searching them, right? So I couldn't remember how to spell my own name. Like, sir, are you telling me you can't spell your name? Is that unusual? Nah, I do drink alcohol occasionally. Sometimes I go a year or two with only drinking maybe once or twice, and then other years, if it's a bad year, I'll hit the bottle. Drink every weekend. I can't get into drinking every day because I get bad hangovers from it. So I have to be careful how much I drink. I'm starting to find a few alcohols that I don't get hangovers as bad. I found mead is pretty good. I'm surprised. I was worried mead would be too much sugar, but it actually helped. I found I didn't get too bad a hangover. So maybe I'll drink more mead. Now, I try not to smoke weed in joints too much because that'll give me headaches from the secondhand smoke, but I like to vaporize weed. I will smoke joints if I don't have anything to vaporize for a couple days. Because vaporizing weed actually raises your tolerance way higher. So I can't really even catch a buzz from smoking weed. Oh yeah, what did you want to see on a map? Where I live close or what? Oh, George Washington is here. Didn't even see who was writing all the messages there. So I get so carried away playing the game, sometimes I just read the chat, forgot to check who was writing it. Yeah, there are some really high level dragons that you can kill. But my character, like, because this is a pay to win game, most of the weapons that I have are ones that only cost a few cents to shoot. But if you wanted to kill a dragon, you'll have to buy a gun that's way bigger and way stronger and shoots more ammunition at once. See, if I show this weapon, it'll show how many bullets it shoots per shot. So this one shoots 48. And let's check this one. This one shoots burn damage, ammo burn 69. So I like the sounds of this gun. No, but anyways, that's how much ammo it burns per shot. So if you get a gun that, say, burns 1,000 bullets per shot, you'll be able to take a dragon down no problem. But the only thing is, that'll cost a lot. Each shot has a price to it, right? And it's risky. They set it up like a lottery system. Like, most people lose every time they're shooting these creatures. And then there's one or two people that get lucky and win everything. So for a pay-to-win game, it's very expensive to play. Unless you get to the low-end stuff and try to stay near the bottom. But still have fun playing. Occasionally I'll take a high-level risk. But usually the high-level risks make me so upset that I don't even want to play the game for a while, so I try not to do those high-level risks too much. My record for biggest amount of money I made in the game is I bought a shop from the game in the auction, I think for around $400 US, and then I sold it later for $2,000 US. So it's a pretty good turnaround there. That's where they say that's where you make most of the money in the game, is doing real estate and stuff. Like that Never Die game that has the record in the game. He bought a place where he bought a space station from the auction, and he mortgaged his house, and I think spent $100,000 US to buy the space station. And everyone laughed at him and said he was a fool and that he was going to lose the mortgage on his house. So he put the space station for sale, and when he was putting it for sale, he got an offer, I think, of over $1 million. So something like that, where he made a huge turnaround. So that's way bigger than mine. Yeah, this is the game that he did it in. This is the planet that he ended up building with the money he made from that. Because after he made all that money in the game, he didn't cash it all out. He actually built his own planet. He invested more back into the game. He even became the game's president. But he had a big argument with some of the other people in the game, I think about a year ago. So hopefully he'll be back soon. I heard that he is back occasionally, but he isn't back full time yet. He even left to start working on other games, and then those other games didn't work out as good as this one. So hopefully he'll give this one another chance. Hoping more people in the community will welcome him back. I don't know, the community's going through a lot of drama lately, where there's this one guy who's like starting rumors or trying to present evidence saying that he thinks he found people scamming other people in the game. So the moderators didn't take his post down, so everyone's starting a new group that's more moderated. I can see where that's coming from, because it is kind of like slander. The guy has some pretty serious accusations, and to say that, he should at least offer a little bit more evidence. I think he offered some kind of evidence, but I didn't really grasp what it was. Something about a forum or someone put something? I don't know, forum stuff doesn't really seem like much evidence to me, because anyone can write shit in a forum. But that's the thing, when you get a big MMO with people that are fighting each other from real money, then all of a sudden there's going to be some drama. I hope everyone resolves it peacefully. And even if not, maybe we can just go our own separate ways. If people want to freak out about calling people thieves, and we'll just start a new group and have less drama in that one. Now, I appreciate the invite into the new group. I'll try not to do too much drama like that. Now, I was thinking, like, if you have extraordinary claims, that's when you should really have some pretty extraordinary evidence. I know all about that. Wild claims. Not enough evidence. Story of my life. Yeah, I was actually wondering that. If I could ever become successful in life, I'd probably invest money into the game, get my own planet, or at least my own level. Or not level, island. Because you can buy islands in the game too. And then you have your own island, and you can set the taxes on the island too. It'd be kind of cool to have it a whole island. I was thinking of doing that in real life, getting an island, and I found out that some of them are pretty cheap. And then I found out why they're so cheap. It's because how the hell do you get any supplies to the island? You almost need like a helicopter or something to drop it in. Yeah, the land areas, that's what they're called. Now, it's my dream to own a land area one day, and I actually had the money in my account at one point to buy a land area. That's how much I had saved up. But sadly, I withdrew the money, and I wasted it in real life, and regretted the withdrawal every day since. So it's like, hopefully I won't make that mistake again. If I ever get that much money in the game again, I'm keeping it in the game. Fuck withdrawing it, screwing it over. No, what I was going to do was buy that one island. I forget what it's called. Orthos or something like that. Or no, it was N something. At the time, it was around 75,000 pen. And I had around 100,000 pen. So I had enough to buy the island with some left over. And I fucking never did it. Withdrew the money instead. Yeah, if you have enough money, you can travel to the different planets, and there's more than one way to do it. Some people have really expensive ships, and they can fly you there in like a minute or two. My ship, this one will take you like 2 hours to fly somewhere. This one will take you about an hour to fly somewhere. But they cost way less. Like this one's only worth about $2 US. This one's worth about $20 US. The ones that get you there in a minute or two are worth about 2,000 US. So there's lots of different ships. And I think there's even teleporter options too. The game has certain teleporters you can use, and you can pay extra to get to planets faster. And people wonder why you'd want to travel from planet to planet. Each planet will have its own specific loot, and some blueprints will require items from all the different planets. So you have to get the materials from each planet and get them from one planet to the next. And there's various different ways you can transport the materials. And each one has a different fee involved. So some people will always try different ways, trying to find the lowest fees to get the materials there. One of the cheapest ways to get the materials is to get a ship and just carry it yourself. But then pirates can shoot you down and take it. So that's a risky method. So there's a lot of international drug smuggling or material smuggling in the game from planet to planet. The price of PED, or Project Entropia dollars, here I'll show you mine. Fuck, doesn't even say how much I have. Piece of shit. Oh, here it says. Right now it says I have 1,400 Project Entropia in dollars. And in order to convert it to US dollars, I have to take away the decimal point by 1 point. So you have to move the decimal point once. That's because 1 US dollar is worth 10 in Project Entropia dollars. So my balance right now is at 1,400, but if I move the decimal point once, it'll make it $140 US. So that's how much I have on me. Obviously, if I sold all the items in my account, I could get this money to go up higher. Or I could buy a whole bunch of ammo, go on a shooting spree, hoping to win the lottery and just lose everything. So it's like a big risk in this game, right? That's why some people like to call this game gambling, and they say it should be a casino. But the company in Sweden that runs it, they managed to talk people into convincing them it's not a casino. Holy, that guy's 950 ped. Congratulations. Yeah, this game can make you rich and it can make you broke. It's one of those things like real life, right? Like investing on the stock market. You could lose everything or you could win everything. Wasn't it funny? You could play this game at the age of 16. That's how old they used to have it. But recently they bumped it up to 18 because too many people are complaining that it was like a casino. Yeah, I was wondering, 950 Entropia dollars. Oh no, that's $95 US. So that's a reasonable amount to have. Yeah, if you want to play Entropia for free, what you do is you log in and you start doing the free stuff. Everything in the game is actually free. It's just a lot of this stuff is pay to win. So a lot of the stuff you can do that's free is what I'm doing here in these videos. You can run around, pick up the kegs. Let's see, how many do I have? Here's some of the oil that I was picking up earlier. All this was free to pick up. If I want to pick it up faster, I can start mining, but that's where you're paying to win. I'm just doing the free way, so it's slower. Sort of like Clone Evolution. How you can win everything in Clone Evolution, it's just slower if you do it free, right? So a lot of people bitch and they'll be like, oh, Entropia is not free, it's pay to win. Well, it's like, yeah, it's pay to win, but you can play it free. And you still can just pick up everything for free, and it's just slower. If you want to pay to win faster, and obviously they can't make it fast for free because then everyone would just take all the money from the game and it would go bankrupt, right? Has to be slow. So anyways, yeah, you can get the oil. Did I not get any kegs yet? That's what I was wondering. I'm like, I've been running around here for a while. I don't recall picking up any kegs. So sometimes you can pick up kegs here, but it looks like the keg flow is stopped. Sometimes they'll be doing an update and the kegs will stop flowing. And then each item I'm picking up on the ground has different markup value that you can sell it to other players. This you can sell for around 110% to other players. The kegs that I pick up here, you can sell for 300%. And then the percent you sell it for always varies. So some people go around buying at a really low percent and then selling at a higher percent. Some people make it rich just doing that. Oh yeah, and the other thing that you can do, here I'll show it to you, is when you're walking around on the ground, there's also rocks, fruit, and stones, like all these different things that are on the ground. You can pick those up too. So the more items you keep picking up off the ground, you can sell them. So if you want to just play free, you can. It's just slow. Oh yeah, and the other item that I've been using for free is this sweat. These 60 bottles of sweat. It's like the magic of the game. You can drain it from the enemies for free and then convert it into magic to shoot at enemies. It's called Mind Essence. So sweat to Mind Essence. They should have just called it magic. I don't know why they called it sweat. That's kind of weird, but maybe it's a Swedish thing. They're really into the sweaty games. With all the hot babes, I can see why. Alright, so where should I head next? I think I was going to go get some more oil. Yeah, let's go get some more oil. So what Never Die did, that rich guy from the game who made all the money from selling the space station, he got a deal with the movie company that did the movie Hunt the Thing. So he got them to add a whole level to his planet that's themed after the movie Hunt the Thing. He even has the official boss and everything. And part of the deal with that is they added an oil rig. So players who want free stuff, they can just come here and pick up oil for free. So that's what I'm doing right now. Usually what I do is I tank up a whole bunch of free stuff while I'm investing stuff too, like real money. So I do a little bit of both. Some people make fun of it and they're like, oh, you should only do the real money investment stuff. But I'm like, man, I like picking up the free stuff too, just to offset some of the losses I make investing real money. Because you can imagine, there's a lot of risk in this game. Yeah, sweat's pretty intense. Like, I was trying to time it to see how long it was taking me at Rocktropia. It is hard to get 1K sweat an hour. I think I might have done it once or twice in my whole life sweating. Oh look, I'm picking up the oil like crazy. There's oil everywhere. Everywhere! Holy fuck, I was gonna do the message from the sponsor and I was like, wait a minute, I better just go check the oil first. We can get the sponsor message in while we wait for the oil to come back. So this axe that I have equipped, it actually boosts my speed so I can run faster in the game. You can get rings that make you do faster stuff too, or all these different abilities. Oh, the chick noticed I came to take the oil, so she's running to try to get it from me. That bitch! No, I'm just kidding. I like her. She looks pretty hot. I like when the girls run around in bras. And she's got an axe too. So she's a real-time Entropian. No, but if you're sweating in most places, you're probably going to take 2 to 3 hours to get 1,000 bottles of sweat. Then you can sell those 1,000 bottles of sweat anywhere between $1 Project Entropia dollar up to 2. Some people are really nice and will pay 2. Really depends on how much they need or what they're buying it for. Sometimes they'll be buying it to promote something like a website or a new space station or a new spaceship service. Alright, so that was pretty exciting. I got some oil. I won't keep taking it on her. She looks like she's pretty intent to try to get all the oil. Holy, yeah. Some people are buying sweat on Two-Land for 5 Project Entropia dollars per 1,000 bottles. And if you ever want to learn lots about Entropia, just type it into YouTube. Most of the people that make videos about it are really good. Not all of them are as weird as mine. I don't think any of them are as weird as mine. Alright, now we'll get a quick message from the sponsor. Today's Adventures of Free Shit was brought to you by Crack. Crack, it'll fuck you up. Woo! Alright, welcome back everyone. I'll show you what getting the magic is like from people. A lot of people say that it's a boring activity, but really this is the grinding of the game that's free. So how exciting can they make grinding? I guess grinding can be pretty exciting in some cases, but I'm talking the game here. Now, I don't know Project Entropia, how it's managed to stay under the radar for so many years. I think it could be the negative press, because it is such a hard game where most people just lose all their money, that you get a lot of comments from people like, oh, I hated that game. But because it's so hard, it's like, I think that's what drew it to me. It's like, oh, I'm like, oh, a hard game, eh? So let's try that, see how hard it really is. Oh yeah, it's hard. It's definitely not going to be easy to make money in a real game, right? Or real money in a game. But there's also the other ways, like the game realized it could do like marketing stuff with different websites, so you can do surveys and stuff, listen to the radio, watch videos. That's how I got to play Clone Evolution. They said if I played Clone Evolution and made it to 1 gold hero, that they would pay me a whole bunch of money in this game. So that's what I did. And I ended up getting hooked on Clone Evolution, so it worked out good for them. The most stressful game ever was Last Day Rule. Huh. I haven't heard it. Now, I used to play my PS3 a fair bit. When I got PS4, I haven't really gotten into too many of the games. I gotta try getting into it more. Or maybe it's a PC game, right? Or a cell phone game. Now, I miss the days when there's like a blockbuster game where everyone would be like, oh, Halo, it's the best game ever, you should play it. Now it's like you kind of hear blockbuster games, but not really. Like Fortnite. I think Fortnite is like the most recent blockbuster game I could think of, right? Everyone's like, oh, you should play Fortnite. Wow, that sounds pretty intense. Start with an axe. You have to grind. You know, I always found that funny when I was traveling up north in Canada, and I was like gonna go walk alone in the woods. And I'm like, is there any like safety precautions that they offer for like who should walk in the woods, what you should bring and stuff? I'm like, do we have to bring hunting rifles and stuff? Because there's a lot of animals that could attack and kill you in the woods, right? So I checked the safety manuals, and guess what the manuals all said for walking in the woods in Canada? Like, you're not allowed to walk alone in the woods up north unless you bring an axe. They're like, if you bring an axe, then you're allowed to go. I was like, an axe? I'm like, well, what are you going to do? It's like, a bear attacks you, you're going to chop him with the axe? That'd be pretty intense. I was thinking bear spray or something should have been more essential, or what if a moose tries to step on you? Are you going to use an axe to defend yourself from a moose? It almost sounds like one of those things like wearing the mask, right? It's more of like just a psychological thing. They're like, oh, bring an axe. That'll protect you. You know those fucking lynx? When a fucking wolf and a lynx attacks you, just pull out your axe. Like, get back, wolf. I have an axe. I will chop you. Yeah, they meant Axe body spray. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Wizard the Bard Time Lord. Ah, I can't even say it. Alright, 6 likes. Thanks, everybody. No, so when I went in the woods, I brought an axe and I brought bear spray. I was thinking, as good as the axe makes me feel, I think bear spray makes me feel a little safer. Now, what I found funny in Canada too is you're allowed to buy bear spray, but you can't buy mace. I was like, well, what the fuck? Isn't mace and bear spray the same thing? In some cases it is. It just says something different on the label. Sometimes it'll be the same product. Like, it's basically just like a spray that blinds people, right? So sometimes it's the exact same product, and one container will say mace, and the other one will say bear spray. And if it says bear spray, you're allowed to buy it. But if it's mace, it's legal. It's like, what the fuck? There's laws for you. So that's what I was thinking. You gotta be careful. If you ever got pulled over, they'd be like, "What's in the bag, sir?" "It's bear spray." "It's definitely not mace." It's like, man, if you happen to call it mace by accident, it'd be like, "What? Mace? You're going to jail." Straight to jail. Alright, so I got some good news I guess I should cover before I wrap up the show today. See if it works. Yeah, I was experimenting with a few different things, and I think I finished or fixed 2 things, or at least 1. So let's check it out. Alright, first thing we'll do is we'll get a quick spin from the Bitcoin casino. 140,000. Ah, fuck, it's the wrong screen problem again. I fucking hate when this happens. I don't get why it keeps doing it. It keeps changing the identification of my monitor. So it'll change it from monitor 1 to 2, and then it'll fuck it up. So, thankfully I don't have any boobs on this screen. Alright. Where was I checking? Oh yeah, display capture, properties. Display 4. Let's try 3. There it is. Alright, so there we go, guys. Sorry. 140,293 Satoshi. So we're doing really good with the Satoshi. That goal of 1 Bitcoin actually almost seems feasible once you start seeing how much Satoshi I already collected with the help of the viewers. You guys are amazing. I was a little skeptical too. I was like, man, this is so slow. It's never going to amount to anything. But man, it already has. Alright, so let's, did I give it the spin? No, let's give it a spin. So we're at 140,303. Woohoo! That was freaking sweet. Alright, the next thing I got, I figure instead of always giving a shout out to the people that are helping with the Bitcoin, I should give a shout out to everyone helping. And well, there's a whole bunch I still have to help, or that I still have to make posters for. But I made the one for the patron already, so we'll do that one next. See if I got it set up. Yeah, there it is. I wonder if I can make this full screen. Oh, I can. Sweet. Alright, so let's check out the patron list next. Yeah, and you can notice in Entropia there, while you're collecting the magic or sweat, there's a way to set it up to do it automatically, legally in the game. So, yeah, you can do other stuff while it collects it, so you can multitask. Right, anyway, so yeah, here's my list of patrons. So far we have Jim and Ray, both helping out the show with Patron, and they signed up for the monthly patrons. So both these guys are pitching in for the monthly amounts. So I really appreciate it. I can't imagine. If I had 2,000 people that signed up for the Patron, I'd have this as my new full-time job. So it may seem like only 2 people helping right now, but man, I'm on my way to 2,000 people helping me on Patron. That'd be fucking amazing. So I don't know, maybe once my vlogging career kicks off, I'll start getting patrons even faster, so who knows? 2 already though, that's a good start. Can't say thank you enough, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, so yeah, Bitcoin's not the only people helping. Patrons are helping out too. Don't want to forget to mention them. Now the other good news is I finally figured out how to get the zoom button working. Because for a long time, I used to always have the images so I could zoom. No, for a second I thought Suki was talking about underboobs. And I'm like, yeah, underboobs are great. And I'm like, oh, underrated. No, so what I'm going to do is try to get the rest of the other people that have been helping. Like all the people that are doing the Hideout TV, all the people that have been, all the other affiliate links. Some of them are getting pretty good amounts of people helping, so I'll have to make slides for that too. Nah, sometimes when there's, getting attacked by other people. I was gonna say, sometimes other people join to help you collect the magic faster. And sometimes they get like 10 or 12 people joined up in teams to help collect it from giant creatures. And then they'll kill the creature after they get this magic from it. And if you're teaming up with like 10 people, you can start killing some really big creatures. And the game has a way of splitting the loot with the team. But you have to be careful. There's different team rules depending on which loot you're killing or which mobs. Some people try to take advantage of teams. I swear I never do that. Now I went on to Patron and looked to see if any of the images from their website are available to share, like non-copyright protected. And all of them were. So I just made one similar. Hope they're not too upset. Hopefully I made it different enough that I don't ruin their fucking copyright shit. Yeah, copyright systems are so weird. I wonder if in our lifetimes we'll ever fix that. How did I make my website, or websites in general? With my website, I used Weebly, and it's just one of those free places. They're like, hey, do you want to create a free website? I'm like, yeah, free's my price. And then you just follow the steps they have to create the website. It's not that hard. I don't know, I did make it before my concussion, so now to remember how I made it exactly is a little bit... I'd have to do a refresher course. Now, even this year when I went to use the cell phone for work and use the app, I almost forgot how to use the whole app. I had to fucking do a refresher course on that. But I guess they did do some updates to the app. Made it harder to use. Back in my day, we used to buy drugs from gangs. No, for Entropia, for my website, do I have to pay anything? No, there's no fees. With the website on Weebly, it's the same thing. It's a pay-to-win thing. They say you can sell stuff on the store, but technically you can build the store, but they have catches where you have to pay to add all the extra features you want for the store. But I found a workaround. What I did is I built the store on there and then said to buy it, click here. And then when it clicks and reroutes to another site that has the transaction part that does it free. So I actually did a combination. But I don't even sell anything on my website anymore, so I took all those features down. But yeah, you can do it all free. Most of the stuff like just hosting images and text and all that, that's all free. They only start to charge you if you try to sell stuff on your website. They might even have a free package where you can sell 1 or 2 items for free. But then if you want to sell like 30 items on your website, then they charge you extra. Hey, Adriano joined the show. Welcome, Adriano. Welcome back. Hey, we're up to 6 likes. Thank you, everyone. I don't know, I think the reason I'm drawn to harder games is I grew up in the generation where video games were a lot harder to beat. Like today's video games, they have save states and everything. Back when I used to play video games, it was always, you had 3 lives, and once those were over, you were dead. You had to start the game over again. So it was a very challenging time. So I'm kind of drawn to that a little. I'm like, hey, I remember the days when video games were challenging. See, in here in sweating, you can start to chat to other people. And if you get really big teams, you can find out everything that's going out in the game. Be like, hey guys, what's new in the game? Everyone will be like, oh, there's this new mission, or oh, someone got a big loot here. Yeah, and then there's no fees with Entropia, no fees with my website. That's where I'm lucky. A lot of the stuff I've been starting for social media, getting my website and YouTube page going, everything's free. Well, not everything, but a lot of it's free. Fucking internet's not free, that's for sure. That cost me a fortune. Computer wasn't free, that was expensive. Excuse me. Alright, so we're already over the hour mark, so I'll have to sum up. Yeah, I wish internet was free. I might try to work out a deal with Google. Because Google built one of their new giant headquarters, like literally just a few blocks down the street from my house. So I can like see a giant Google high-rise. So I should talk to them. They're like, hey guys, how about expanding your internet? It's like, give me a Wi-Fi password. Set our whole block up with 5G. That'd be sweet. Now, the only shitty thing about Google moving into your neighborhood and building giant headquarters is all of a sudden the real estate prices start skyrocketing. Like everyone's houses went from being worth like 100,000 to $1 million, which sounds nice at first. But if you want to keep your house, that's not a good thing, because then you're going to have to pay more in property tax. Your house skyrocketing in value is only good if you plan on moving. Because if you plan on moving, it doesn't matter if it skyrockets. You'll be like, oh, it can skyrocket all at once. This giant property tax bill, I won't have to pay it anymore. So that's why I try to warn people when they're so happy that their property values are skyrocketing. I'm like, don't forget, you have to pay a tax on your value. Yep, see my phone saying, yep, don't forget. Yeah, so Suki, I hope you find out the answer about what you want to do. I don't even think moving is really that easy these days with the whole world situation and lockdowns. The lockdowns in my region are only getting worse and worse. At one point, we weren't even allowed to look for new places, so the real estate market took a real crash. But who knows? Like you were saying, you're in, what is it, New Zealand? And they've had a lot easier run with the virus, right? Test less, found less? No. Yeah, I can't imagine being away from family. As a guy, that's what I imagine the worst. Because I always need my family for extra jobs, work, if I need help with stuff. Family is very crucial, right? Hey, DDD Dog is here. Yeah, I was talking to Sverge actually a little bit on YouTube. I think in a private chat we got going on, what's it called, email or whatever. I liked his videos and his channel. I was just kind of concerned for him about the whole idea about getting vitamin C from organs. Because I started looking into it and I found out like he always uses, or not just him, but meatitarians or carnivores, they always go to this idea that they can get vitamin C from eating organs. And I always thought that was a bit of weird because the scurvy on ships, they were still eating organs. So I was like, how come they still got scurvy on ships if they were eating organs the whole time? And then I found out what it was, is you can actually get vitamin C for a complete sea life diet, but guess what you have to eat in order to get the vitamin C when you're at sea? Sea at sea. Turns out it's whale skin. They said that's what the Inuit eat. So if you take whale skin and you eat it raw, it's loaded with vitamin C. So you can actually live at sea and get the vitamin C from like eating just meat, but you have to eat a lot of whales. Well, I guess not a lot. One whale will probably last you, what, like 100 years? Put it in the freezer. There's a lot of whale, but... So I guess, yeah, you can get small amounts of like vitamin C from eating like organs or brain meat. But I'd much rather just eat an orange. And I noticed his channel, yeah, liver supposedly has small amounts of vitamin C. But it's the same thing with the vegans, right? Like, they talk about how they can get a whole bunch of like, or small amounts of, what is it, vitamin B12 if they eat fucking algae or something. But it's still like the same thing. It's like a small amount. Might as well just eat a fucking egg or something and get way more. That's what I was thinking. Serge's channel is like the opposite of veganism. He's taken the meatitarian or carnivore diet to the same extreme, but the opposite extreme. Where he's denying himself just basic vitamin C. It's the same way that vegans deny themselves B12 or whatever. I think that's why the balanced diet has been so supreme for so many centuries, is people realize like, hey, little bit of meat, little bit of plants, fucking works great together. Add a little beer, you're good to go. Little bit of wine. Yeah, I heard about eating like the organs, and I tried to get eating liver, and I did notice the boost in energy from it, but I couldn't handle the taste. Like, it must take a while to adapt to it. And I couldn't eat it raw, that's for sure. I was eating it cooked, and I still couldn't take it. Oh yeah, the other thing is salmon. Fuck man, I love salmon. Serge is talking about eating meat and getting some energy, so I tried that salmon thing he talks about. Oh yeah, I agree with him there. There's definitely some boosts I noticed from salmon. The only thing I didn't like about salmon was the allergies. Part of Sverge's show, he always talks about how meat allergies don't exist. And I know for a fact that that isn't true. Because when I went and took his advice and tried some sushi, because I'm like, hey, let's try raw salmon. Serge is saying raw salmon's like amazing. So I tried it, and it did boost my short-term memory. Like, my cognitive skills improved. So I was like, this is wild. But when I got home, I also got the meat allergy. I didn't know that if you don't eat much seafood, you're only supposed to eat small amounts, because you can get allergic reactions from meat. So what happened was I got an allergic reaction from eating too much seafood, and what it was is I got the joint pains, which is really weird. It's like, you know how like when you sprain your knee or something, it's like dislocating, you're like, oh fuck, my knee's fucked because it's like sprained. Well, it's like I was getting that sprain sensation, except every joint in my whole body. I was like, why the fuck does every joint in my whole body ache? And then I found out that's the meat allergy. And it wore off within a few hours, thank God. But no, I went a little bit overkill because I was at a sushi place. It was all you could eat. And I'd never tried salmon before. And I tried, like, I don't know, a few plates of raw salmon. So that was not a good thing to do. Yeah, I tried some of the raw tuna also. Raw tuna was a little bit weird tasting. Raw salmon I like the taste of. But I'm going to definitely do smaller amounts next time. So I don't get the fucking swelling in my joints. I like burning joints, I just don't like them swelling. I remember that one day I was working with these guys cleaning windows. I asked the one guy, I'm like, fuck man, my joints are aching. He's like, oh, that sucks. My joints are burning. He had a joint burning. I was like, all right. Let's get to work. Now, so I do plan on trying raw salmon again. I'm a little bit worried about the, what is it called, parasites, but apparently they can freeze it in a way that kills anything too, right? Hopefully that's true. Which I worry about it too, because a lot of places they brag about meat being the best if it's never frozen. But I'm like, if you're eating raw foods, how do you sterilize it if you never freeze it? There's like what? You can either cook it, you can freeze it. Maybe you could use like salt. Salt might sterilize stuff. But I don't know if salt can really sterilize parasites. Alright, thanks for 7 likes, everybody. Now, I think the same thing with Surge and vegans is both of their philosophies actually do serve a purpose. Like, if you want to eat just meat for a while, it's not a bad little experiment. Well, not to offer health advice, just things I've tried. And if you want to eat just plants for a while, it's not a bad experiment either. But you just don't really want to do either of them long term. When you do it too long term, then that's when you start noticing the bad side effects. Right, phone? It's like in the Bible. They talk about fasting too. They're like, it's good to eat meat sometimes, or other weeks it's good to eat plants. But they don't say like, oh, fast forever now. Like, eat this diet forever. They're always like, no, it's a cycle. You gotta eat this time, this time. It's never one thing all the time. That's where I think we're lucky with our human digestion, is we are actually designed to eat a good variety of things. Yeah, too much salmon these days. They said they worry about it because of the mercury content too, right? Mercury wasn't so bad in the old days, but it's getting worse in fish. No, but I wish I ate more fish because they said it's good for your skin, gets rid of wrinkles, makes your skin last longer, hair. That's probably why my skin and fucking hair sucks, because I hardly ever eat fish. Now, I want to try one day as a goat. I don't think I've ever tried goat meat before, so I heard it's a popular one around the world. I'd like to see how good it really is. Someone, I was watching this one show and they were bragging that goat meat is like the super meat. It's like one of those ones that has a lot less harmful fats in it. Whatever's a harmful fat. Speaking of harmful fats, it's time for me to go eat. I gotta eat because I need a break before I start Clone Evolution. I think I'm gonna do a Clone Evolution, maybe a quarter after 7 I'll start. Just give myself a bit longer of a break. Been talking for an hour and a half straight. Alright, so 205 bottles of sweat. So we can see collecting the magic. Worked pretty quick today. Finishing quick is still my specialty. Alright, so yeah, let's get the affiliate links, and I guess I'll have to move my Uncle Pete soon too. Or no, I'll move him after Clone Evolution. Alright, let's wrap this up. Oh, I almost forgot. Can't wrap it up. One other thing. Most important thing, the viewer shoutouts. Alright, so let's give a shout out to all the viewers that joined the chat today. We got Barney, Suki. She was the first one who joined. Thanks for joining the show today, Suki. Euros. Thanks, Euros. And Capiatu? I'm not sure how to say that, or YTB. Thanks for joining the chat, man. It's nice that you're an Entropia player. It's always good to see some more Entropia players join. Alright, so what else? Who else do we have that joined the chat? Oh yeah, George Washington. I don't know, it's like your avatar image is almost the same color as the other one, so I keep getting them mixed up. Right, George Washington. Oh, React Ion. Yeah, React Ion. I'll be doing the Clone Evolution stream at still about 7:15-ish. I might start right at 7 if I'm finished with the break, but I think I might need a bit longer to eat. Or I'll try to eat smaller. Fuck. Alright, so let's see. Oh yeah, Warzard the Board Time Lord. Thanks for joining, man. Yep, we'll be doing the Clone Evolution so soon. Adriano, thanks for joining again. DDDD dog. Triple D dog. Yeah, Triple D. That sounds better. Alright, thanks everyone for tuning into the show. If you want to help share it and all that jazz, subscribe and like it. That's cool too. Let's get the affiliate links the next. Alright, so we got the Patreon. I gave the list of the Patreons earlier. If anyone wants to help out with that, you can. Society 6, finishing quick is my specialty. Saying that comes on shirts and bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. Hideout TV is the videos that will pay you to watch them. Swagbucks will pay you to shop online. GameKit will pay you to be a gamer. Free Bitcoin will pay you to game. Try out games like Clone Evolution. No, that's the GameKit, and Free Bitcoin is the free online casino for Bitcoin. If you want to help out with that, that'd be great too. Virtual made sex machines for adults and men only. If ladies need a sex machine, they know who to call. Just kidding. Unless the lockdown ever ends in our lifetime. Right. The virtual made sex machine is a real product, shipped, even though it's crowdfunded. They did succeed. It's got some new updates coming, hopefully soon. No pun intended. Oh yeah, it's for adults and men only? Oh yeah, I got that part. Alright, so let's see. I think that's about everything. Oh yeah, there was one item that I wanted to wrap the show up with. So let's get the fire screen and do that. Right, if you happen to get some of the Entropia backpack in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give it a like. I really appreciate it. Just make sure you never buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life. Bye for now, everyone. Take care. And I hope everyone gets over all that drama with the big fights and the forums. I like the new Facebook group. Thanks for the invite. Oh yeah, and make sure to check out Raven Jade's material and Entropia Zine. They got some cool shit too. Alright, see you now. Bye everyone. Take care. See you the Clone Evolution people, and not much time. Pretty shortly. I gotta go eat. Fuck. Later. Where the fuck's the button? Oh. Oh, Pepe's here too. Thanks, man. Yeah, for anyone else I missed in the chat, probably missed a few. Hope everyone had a good weekend. See ya.